The Revelation of Yeshua Messiah, according to the Chronological Gospels. Chapter 10. Then I saw another mighty angel come down from heaven. He was clothed with a cloud, and had a rainbow about his head. His face shone like the sun, and his legs and feet looked like pillars of blazing fire. In his hand a small scroll was open, and he set his right foot upon the sea, and his left foot on the earth, and cried with a loud voice like the roar of a lion, and 7 thunders uttered their voices. After the 7 thunders had uttered their voices, I was about to write, when I heard a voice from heaven shout, "Stop! Seal up the things which the 7 thunders uttered, and do not write them." The angel whom I saw standing on the sea and on the earth lifted up his hand to heaven, and swore by him who lives forever and ever, who created heaven and the things that are in it, and the earth and the things that are in it, and the sea and the things that are in it. There shall be no more delay. But in the day of the sounding of the trumpet of the 7th angel, the moment he begins to sound, the mystery of Yahweh shall be executed, just as he declared to his servants the prophets. The voice which I heard from heaven spoke to me again and said, "Go, take the little scroll from the hand of the angel who stands upon the sea and upon the earth." So I went to the angel and said, "Give me the little scroll." He responded, "Take it and eat it up. It will be as sweet as honey in your mouth, but it will make you sick to your stomach." So I took the little scroll out of the angel's hand and ate it up in my mouth. It was as sweet as honey, but as soon as I had eaten it, I became sick to my stomach. Then he told me, "You must repeat this prophecy again and again before many peoples and nations and tongues and kings." Chapter 11. A reed like a measuring rod was given to me, and the angel said, "Rise up and measure the temple of Yahweh and the altar and those who worship at it, but leave out the court which is outside the temple. Do not measure it, because it is given to the Gentiles. They shall tread the holy city underfoot for 42 months. I will give power to my 2 witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,260 days, clothed in sackcloth. These are the 2 olive trees and the 2 lampstands which stand before the Master over all the earth. If any man attempts to harm them, fire will come out of their mouths and devour their enemies. If any man attempts to harm them, he will be killed in this manner. They have the power to shut up the heavens so that it will not rain in the days of their prophesying. They have power over the waters to turn them to blood, and to smite the earth with any kind of plague as often as they desire. When they finish their testimony, the beast that ascends out of the abyss, Abaddon, shall make war against them. He will overcome them and kill them. Their dead bodies will lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Master was crucified. The people and families and tongues and nations will see their dead bodies for 3.5 days, and will not allow their dead bodies to be put in graves. Those who dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them, and make merry, and shall send gifts one to another, because these 2 prophets tormented all those who live on the earth. But after 3.5 days the Spirit of life from Yahweh entered into them, and they stood upon their feet. Great fear fell upon all those who saw them, and they heard a great voice from heaven calling to the 2 witnesses, "Come up here." They ascended up into heaven in a cloud while their enemies watched them. Immediately there was a great earthquake. The 10th part of the city collapsed, and 7,000 men were slain in the earthquake. Those who remained alive after the earthquake were frightened and gave glory to the Elohim of heaven. The seventh angel sounded, and there were great voices in heaven saying, "The kingdoms of this world are become the kingdoms of the Almighty and of his Messiah, and he shall reign forever and ever." And the 24 elders who sat before Yahweh fell on their faces and worshipped Yahweh, saying, "We give you thanks, O Yahweh Elohim El Shaddai, who is and was and is to come, because you have taken your great power and have reigned." The heathen raged, but your wrath has now come, and this is now the time that the righteous dead shall be judged, and you will reward your servants, the prophets and the saints, and those who fear your name, both small and great. And it is also the time that you will destroy those who destroyed the earth. The temple of Yahweh was opened in heaven, and the ark of the covenant was once again seen in his temple. There was lightning and voices and thunder and an earthquake and great hail. Chapter 12. There appeared a great sign in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the new moon under her feet, and above her head a crown of 12 stars. Being great with child, she cried, agonizing in labor, and about to give birth. There appeared another sign in the heaven. I saw a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his heads. Its tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, and cast them to earth. The dragon stood before the woman who was about to be delivered in order to devour her child as soon as it was born. She brought forth a man-child who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron, and her child was caught up to Yahweh and to his throne. The woman fled into the wilderness, where she had a place prepared by Yahweh, so that they should feed her there 1,260 days. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon and his angels fought. They did not prevail, neither was their previous place recognized in heaven any more. The great dragon was cast down, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, who deceives the whole world. He was cast down to the earth, and his angels were cast down with him. Then I heard a loud voice in heaven proclaiming, "Now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of Yahweh and the power of his Messiah. For the accuser of our brothers is cast down, who accused them before our Elohim day and night. And the saints overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives to death. Therefore rejoice, you who dwell on the heavens, but woe to the inhabitants of the earth and sea. The devil has come down to you with great wrath, because he knows that he has but a short time." When the dragon realized that he was cast down and confined to the earth, he persecuted the woman who brought forth the man-child. The woman was given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her prepared place, where she is to be nourished for a time and times and half a time away from the face of the serpent. The serpent spewed a flood of water out of his mouth after the woman, so that he might cause her to be swept away by the flood. But the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood which the dragon cast out of his mouth. So the dragon was wroth with the woman, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, that keeps the commandments of Yahweh, and has the testimony of Yeshua Messiah. Chapter 13. Then I stood upon the sand of the sea, and watched a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon its horns 10 crowns, and upon its heads was the name of blasphemy. The beast which I saw was like a leopard, and his feet were like the feet of a bear, and his mouth was like the mouth of a lion. The dragon gave it his power and his throne and great authority. And I saw one of its heads as it was wounded unto death, but its deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. The world worshipped the dragon, which gave power to the beast, and they worshipped the beast, saying, Who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with it? And there was given to it a mouth, speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given to the beast to continue 42 months. He opened his mouth in blasphemy against Yahweh, to blaspheme his holy name, and his tabernacle, and those who dwell in heaven. He was given the power to make war with the saints, and to overcome them. Power was given him over all families, and tongues, and nations. All those who dwell upon the earth shall worship him, that is, all those whose names are not written in the scroll of life by the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. If any man has an ear, let him hear. He who leads into captivity shall go into captivity, and he who kills with the sword shall be killed with the sword. Here is the enduring patience and faith of the saints. Then I saw another beast coming up out of the earth. He had 2 horns like a lamb, but he spoke like the dragon. He exercised all the authority of the first beast who came before him, and caused the earth and all those who dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. He did great wonders, and made fire come down from heaven unto the earth in the sight of men. He deceived all who dwell on the earth by means of those miracles which he had the power to do under the authority of the beast. He instructed all who dwell on the earth to make an image to the beast, which had a wound by a sword and yet lived. The dragon lamb had the power to give life to the image of the beast, so that the image of the beast could both speak and cause as many as would not worship the image of the beast to be killed. And the dragon lamb caused all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark on their right hand or on their foreheads, so that no man might buy or sell except those who have the mark, or the name, of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him who has understanding decipher the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. His number is Chi Z Sigma. Chapter 14. I looked and saw a lamb standing on Mount Zion, and with him were 144,000, having his father's name written on their foreheads. And I heard a voice from heaven, like the sound of roaring oceans, and like the sound of deafening thunder. And I heard the sound of harpers harping with their harps, and they sang a new song before the throne, and before the 4 beasts and the elders. But no one could learn that song except the 144,000 who were redeemed from the earth at the sounding of the 7th trumpet. These are the ones who were not defiled with women, for they kept themselves as virgins. They are the ones who follow the Lamb wherever he goes. They were redeemed out from among men, being the first fruits to Yahweh and to the Lamb. In their mouths was found no guile, and they are without fault. And I saw another angel flying in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting gospel to preach to those who dwell on the earth, and to every nation and family and tongue and people. He cried out with a loud voice, Fear Yahweh, and give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment has come. Worship him who made heaven and earth and the sea and the springs of waters, Another angel followed, crying, Babylon has fallen. That great city has fallen because she made all nations drink the wine of her passion for sexual immorality. A third angel followed them, crying with a loud voice, If any man worships the beast or his image, or receives the mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh, which will be poured out full strength into the cup of his anger. They will be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels, in the presence of the Lamb. The smoke of their torment will ascend from age to age. Those who worship the beast or his image, or whoever receives the mark of his name, will have no rest day or night. Here is where we see the real endurance and patience of the saints. Here stand those who keep the commandments of Yahweh and keep the faith of Yeshua. Then I heard a voice from heaven telling me to write exactly what the Spirit says. Blessed are the dead who die in Messiah from this point on. Truth, they die in order to allow them to rest from their labors. Yet their works of righteousness will follow them. Then I looked, and I saw a white cloud, and upon the cloud sat one who was like unto the Son of Man, having on his head a golden crown, and in his hand a sharp sickle. Then another angel came out of the temple, crying with a loud voice to him who sat on the cloud, Thrust in your sickle and reap, for the time has come for you to reap. The harvest of the earth is ripe. He who sat on the cloud thrust in his sickle on the earth, and the earth was reaped. Again another angel came out of the temple in heaven, and he also had a sharp sickle. Then came out from the altar another angel who had the responsibility for the altar fire, and he cried with a loud cry to the angel who had the sharp sickle, Thrust in your sharpened sickle, and harvest the clusters of the vine of the earth. Her grapes are fully ripe. So the angel thrust in his sickle into the earth, and gathered the vine of the earth, and cast it into the great winepress of the wrath of Yahweh. The winepress was trodden outside the city, and the blood that came out of the winepress came all the way up to the horses' bridles, at the distance of 1,600 stadia, 185 miles.